what's up?
Hey, Will. So, you know what happened. Everything got erased.
It was a rough week in the holiday, you know,
Yeah.
kind of rough. What's funny is that it was like our best week as individuals,
hmm
but like tech wise regarding the podcast, rough one.
Yeah. Multiple issues. But I want to make sure that you talk about what got lost because you had a lot of good stuff. So let's hear it.
Yeah, yeah. So a few weeks ago, Nico, as you know, hosted the Smash Corner Saturdays. So I decided to go. It was like my first tournament back in a while, and um, well, I mean, yeah, I'll cut to the chase. Like I beat Lint, which was kind of crazy,
Yeah, it's dope,
you know.
man.
And
That's awesome.
yeah, so I placed fourth. I lost the tight game set to Warmer, who took the tournament, which is actually nuts. And then lost to Lint and losers, but I was overall really happy with the play I made, and like I really didn't care too much about the placing. And really, it was just so nice, dude, because like one, I've been like studying the Falco matchup and like looking at the VODs I have of me versus Lind, and then we did like I reviewed it also with Drug Fox, and so it was just nice for that to pay off. And I think now I can like go into the New York scene, and I think I need to like start studying players more so than like general matchups
Hmm.
and look for tendencies and stuff like that, because I think that really helped against Lin in the first set, because I'm like, okay, this is what I'm expecting, and then it's like, oh, okay, does my expectations match what he's doing today? And like some of it did and some of it did, but I think that's something that I've never really tried to approach on before, is just like studying New York players, because I'm like, oh, I need to just study the matchups and stuff like that. But like I think studying New York players will still help with that, but I think I could fit that a little bit more into my like training.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're facing them more than any other player, so it's good to have that kind of that background or at least a couple things per player to like look out for that might end up, turning the tides in your favor just that little bit.
Yeah, because you're not playing Falco, you're playing Lin. Like
Yeah.
it's different, than like if I were to play Beerman, I would look for completely different things and stuff like that. But overall, I was really happy. I think one thing that was kind of crazy was I popped off a little bit definitely after the win, and like the VODs are kind of crazy. Like I got some cool combos, I got some lucky combos. It was kind of nuts, but I think the two takeaways that I can like get from like sort of that tournament are like one, having like, so like remember how in podcast 3 we were talking about like the mindset, right, for Cody,
Oh
and like
yeah.
how it's like I'm like here, and it's like it's not like I'm about to win, but it's like, all right, like I'm in a like winning position, let me earn the rest of this, right? And I definitely thought that while playing Lin, and that really helped. I think like sort of like I didn't even really feel like I was nervous. I was just playing, the last stock interaction, which was really crazy. um and second was like I didn't really rest on my laurels. Like I played Lin, and I know I lost to him in losers, but like I was worried like a little bit, like I would get a little complacent, like, oh, I already did well, like it's okay if I lose here. But like Link came out swinging, like he wanted to fuck me up, and I was just like, no, I'm not gonna let you do that to me. And like, um, it was he. I mean, he 3-0'd me, but like the games itself, I thought were very good. Like, I'm still happy with my play, and he definitely like brought some new stuff like in that loser set. But I was happy. Like I wanted to like, I'm like, no, I want to do this. Then I want to beat Smokers, and then I want to reset Warmer. Like I still was like out there to win it. So like I'm
Yeah.
really happy about that, because I think complacency is like a big, like, not, it just can like sort of trickle in, sometimes, where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I already did well.
hmm
But I think the big thing we wanted to talk about that got lost was the Daigo quote, right, that we were talking about. So I'm just gonna say it again, and it's like, I never shoot for, well, actually, before I say this, I want to preface it, right, by saying like after the tournament, I think like because I've been doing a lot of mindfulness exercises and meditation and stuff like that, I noticed like I was like happy that I beat Lint, but like even though I beat Lint, like I still lost in losers, and I lost to Warmer also, and it was sort of just like, it was interesting because my mind was focusing on, like, I would have to balance it between being too happy about the Lint win, and like trying to be too critical of myself for losing. and like that sort of balance is sort of tough, where it's like how do you get it right where you can be happy and content but also know that you still need to like work more and stuff like that. And sort of I felt like in this very gray area about the tournament, which is kind of crazy, especially because I've been trying to like or really studying up on like playing Falco and Lind, and like that sort of all paid off. But Daigo's quote is like, I never shoot for a happiness level of 100 through winning tournaments. I'd rather score 60 in my daily practice.
I can't believe
60.
we lost that. That's such a bummer. But yeah, here we are. We're talking about it now.
Yeah, I
I
know.
love
It's
the
it sucks
quote.
that we lost it, but yeah, to just sort of finish the quote, he goes, 60 is just right. Much lower doesn't foster motivation, and 100 indicates too much reliance. And I feel like this is the first time where I like understood that code a little more, because I feel like I'm definitely at that 60. I was at that 60%, a few days after the tournament.
Hmm. Yeah, man. It's all about managing expectations, managing your own emotions, and converting a win into something even more beneficial, hopefully, and not letting yourself get deflated. Um,
Or inflated.
right, right. Like too inflated that it kind of turns into itself. There was one thing I think I mentioned. I'm going to stop referencing the last episode. There's something I
Yeah,
want to mention.
this is a new one.
Yeah, we're
This is episode 6, baby.
we're fresh now, man.
Wait, is it 5?
It's
Did I
5.
get our episodes wrong? It's 5. Okay.
I'll save that for episode 6. I'll cut it out. But
Hype.
I think Cody had something similar, and I don't know if he would talk about it or if it's something I've noticed just from watching him, where he would have a really good tournament and then kind of have a less good tournament. And I was actually afraid that was going to happen at Super Smashed Out. There was a moment, and it was right when I tuned in to watching it, where he was
Yeah.
playing warmer, and it was down to last stock game 1, and Cody's face was what you'd expect someone who's about to just drop it and start losing and then DQ out of losers.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little worried, but he turned it around. He ended up winning Super Smashed Out, losing like one game, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a thing he had for a little bit, and I think it's just because he was juggling so many things, he wasn't able to focus on melee, and so he let those things take priority in his brain, which is totally reasonable. Like, I hope this doesn't come across as a critique. This is just me trying to learn from one of the best players I know.
It's an interpretation, right? We can just say it as that.
Right. And I think he's starting to get over that hurdle, which shows that even the best players struggle with these kind of weird, abstract, macro influences on our melee careers. It's not just about learning the game, it's about learning ourselves and being able to push past any negativity for any reason. And the negativity we expect the least is when we win a tournament or win a good set. We don't expect that to bring us down at all, but there's these factors of complacency, like you said, and complacency is a negative that comes from a positive. So learning how to get over that is huge as you get better, because as you get better, you're going to get more wins. As you get more wins, you're going to have to start realizing the context of that. And it's something I struggle with also, for sure.
Yeah, because it's like well, two things, right? It's like one is like people say like, oh, losses can really hurt you, but I think wins can hurt you more, arguably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of, if you kind of get under that spotlight too much and like aren't grounded, it can really get to you, like in your head. And I think also like another thing is it's like what do you value, right? Like I think when I beat Lind a few weeks ago, like I didn't value, oh, I beat Lind, PR'd so and so in Connecticut and PR'd X in New York, and like that's sort of like what I would tell like my coworkers when they asked me like, oh, how did your tournament go? Because that's sort of like the dumbed down version of it,
Yeah, you
like
got to provide context.
yeah, like because they don't know who it is, but it's like it's more so like I was happy with one, my play, and two, my work, the work that I put in, that it showed. And like I know we were talking about how I was kind of like in this like weird like I don't know if it's like a slump or just like a weird like processing like period where like I was still like kind of working out on some things, and like it kind of came a little bit more together at Smashed Out, but like not Smashed Out, Smash Corner. Um, and I think like it was more so just like like, oh, I'm like semi on the right path, like this paid off,
Hmm.
and that's good to know. Like I'm happy with like the work. I won that set not because like sure in the moment like I had it, but like I've been working towards that like weeks ahead of time. Since I played Lint at See Me on Land 2, and like I couldn't take a game from him in like friendlies and in our money matches. Like it was just like that rough. So I've been like it wasn't a win out of nowhere, I think, is the big thing. And it's like, what do you value as a player?
Right. That's great, man. So do you want to talk about our last week,
Yeah,
like our current last week?
yeah, I think we can do that. I mean,
Yeah.
we talked about our week, like, and then we sort of ended it with like NYXL, but like I guess I think it's been a really interesting week for me, actually.
Right.
And the reason
Holidays.
why, I think holidays, yeah. I think the reason why it's been an interesting week is because nothing's happened. So
Yeah.
you kind of like have so much time to yourself and like so much thought, and like dude, you know how much I love playing Melee and stuff like that. You know how much I want to just play all day, right? Like
Yeah.
just practice and stuff like that. And it was weird because like I would find myself like in these moments when I'm at like my parents' house in North Carolina, and I like, and I don't have a CRT there or anything, so I was just like, um, it's sort of like, one, like how can I practice without a CRT? So I just watched a lot of VODs and stuff like that and came up with like a lot of new ideas. But
Hmm.
also just like I was like, oh wow, I'm like really wound up tight. Like I don't know why I feel so like tight about this. Like in terms of like I guess I like was starting to worry like, oh man, like I've been practicing a lot. Like I just had a great tournament at Smash Corner. Like I kind of just want to play more and keep this momentum going. And I was like, I think a part of me was like afraid I'd lose that, but like I sort of like thought about it a lot, and it's just like, one, I need to like allow myself to just enjoy the holidays and relax, and two is like I don't know why I was being so hard on myself about it. Like I put in so much work, it's not gonna go away because of like a week with my family.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, it might even help to give you time to process and kind of refresh after putting in like a tournament. It might be good to kind of give yourself that time. And I like that you're watching VODs too. I think that's a perfect thing to supplement no play um, is studying or at least absorbing VODs. I know you do a little more than just watch. So I think there's absolutely nothing to beat yourself up about, especially because, like, what are you going to do? Like, start driving around and try to find a CRT, bring your GameCube and prep. Actually, you totally could have done that.
I totally could. I was just thinking that actually, JD. I'm like, I should find the CRT in Charlotte.
That actually would have happened. That would have, but your family would have been like, "Are you for real? Are you
It's like,
serious right
what
now?"
do you want for Christmas? I could use a 9-inch Toshiba CRT, please.
Yeah, can you just like hook up a CRT to all of our houses and all my friends' houses, and then give me a map of all the ones I could find? That's an
Yeah,
app idea. Is
that's a
finding CRTs in your area.
yeah. I might have to ship them a CRT, maybe simplify it.
Yeah, that'll
But
cost you
but
like
yeah, back to the
$80.
yeah, but back to the topic. What are you saying?
um, I don't know. Something about VODs. VODs being
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, VOD's being really good. Yeah, but also the funny thing is, and we didn't talk about this last week, is you're like, you mentioned like, oh yeah, I do a little more than just watch, but also I like can't remember the last time like I really just truly like wanted to like just watch something. And so like I sat down and watched NYXL, like most of it. I watched most of like top 30, top 24, and stuff like that, and that was so fun. Like I can't remember. I honestly can't remember the last time I was just like sat down and watched like through a whole tournament.
Yeah, it's way more
Like,
fun than VODs.
yeah, and like I still took away some stuff. Like I still took some notes on like stuff I need to work on, or like, oh, that's really interesting here. Like I wonder what I need to work on there, or like I wonder if I can pull that off. But just like, oh man, it was so fun watching NYXL. I really hope they bring the event like back at some point.
Yeah, I mean, pop up as a
concept.
as a concept, thank you, is definitely something that works well in New York City because, like, holding down a consistent venue is really expensive. So
Yeah.
having something in New York City that just gets a lot of hype, like bar tournaments are really fun. Those are pretty much pop ups if you think about it.
Yeah.
Just anything where we're like, oh, we have a week and a half to confirm for this. Everyone who can will, and that hype, you know, translates into the stream and it helps the community out. And I'm happy that you liked watching it because I was pulling down the com.
Yeah, no, I loved your comm, dude. It was so good. I actually had some uh so I was actually I think I messaged this on Facebook Messenger, but I wanted to know if you're familiar with Sajam as a commentator.
No, what games?
He's like the prime DBZ commentator. He's also prime Street Fighter, and occasionally he does Tekken and Killer Instinct.
Wow. Okay.
He has this channel, and one, I just love his voice. It's like kind of like, you know, where you like hear someone, you're like, I want them to
Marinate.
narrate my life.
Yeah, I got you.
And so he's like that for me. But like I think his commentary is super fun, and I love you should listen to it. But he also has a YouTube channel, and he has so many like tips on commentating, and like he does match analysis to like work on his commentary.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, it's a sick channel. I like, and like he'll tell funny stories, and it's just kind of relaxed, and he's like he'll study other commentators from other communities. So like there's a funny story where he's talking, he was like, Killer Instincts have like an interesting, apparently I don't know anything about Killer Instinct besides this, also is that they have an interesting combo system where it's a little bit like Melee, where you have like an opener sort of move, then like the meat of the move, right, and then like a closer, right?
Okay.
And Melee sort of like that. So he's like, oh, I wonder how I can like, and like it's dependent on both players on what they do. That's the main thing, right? Because in Smash, you know, you have DI
Right.
influence and stuff like that. So he's not like, oh, I wonder like how I can like improve on like commentating those matches. So he's like, oh, I'll watch some Smash commentary, like Scar, and it was like Scar and Toph was the big one at the time, and he was just like, I learned nothing about what I wanted to from Scar and Toph, but I did learn that like commentary can be a little more relaxed, and like it's kind of like can be like two buddies on a couch,
Yeah.
but it's nuts. I think you would really enjoy the channel, and he talks about like the commentary grind, how to improve. He'll talk about like, I listened to one where he went on a rant about like the best analytical commentators and like what makes each analytical commentator different from one another in Street Fighter.
Man, I gotta give this guy a listen. This sounds like exactly what I need to help me improve my commentary skills.
Yeah, and personally, I really like like I think I watch Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter, but I'm like way more inclined to watch it if he's on comms.
Word. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the goal is to get to that level of proficiency where people don't mind what you're commentating. They'll just give the game a shot. Like, is there any gold standard above that for a commentator?
Yeah, I guess just having people watch the game that, yeah, I guess there's nothing better, right?
Yeah. I have a lot of opinions on commentary, and a lot of them are contentious and make me sound like an asshole. Contentious,
Mhm.
pretentious. Ugh. I tweeted again last night, and I got into another scuff.
I saw that tweet. You wanna talk about it?
I feel like I have to because it's all I think about. It's so bad. Like, I'm not proud of how jealous I am of this Ludwig guy. I'm not proud of it because I actually do respect his work ethic, what he's put in, the amount of, like, he's very good at so many things.
Hmm.
And what
He knows how to work the market, right?
he's great at marketing himself. He's great at
Yeah.
producing content. He's great at networking. He's done a lot, and I can't sit here and like berate him for that. But there's just so many things that like I've been needing to say about him, and I guess this is my platform. This is our platform. As long as you
Yeah.
don't mind me soapboxing a little bit and like definitely coming off as a jealous asshole, then I'm kind of just gonna go into it.
No, I think like and let me like preface this, right? Is like I think there's no point in like, and this is both like with this and like when you're playing, right? Like there's no point in like holding back feelings. If you feel some way, like just let yourself feel that way. As long as like you don't personally attack the guy, like you're fine.
Yeah,
Like, and I know you respect him, but it's okay to be a little bit jealous. Like, it's hard not to.
right. And there's some things that there's some things that shouldn't be said,
Mm-hmm.
and those are all like if it gets emotionally charged, and I think I'm good at tampering that. I'm not worried that I'm gonna say something
You,
I'm
you
gonna
got me.
regret.
You got me, Jesse.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
that's fine. Anyway, so I've had a problem with Ludwig for a considerable amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And often, if you know me, you'll know that I'll just like go off on rants whenever I see him on stream, or like just kind of lash out in however I feel at the moment if I see him, and it's all immature. Like, this is, again, it's not something I'm proud of, but I think there are legitimate reasons to be critical of him, and I don't see anyone else giving that criticism. So I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of really state my case, and to let you know that it's not just because he has a successful career going for him and that a lot of people follow him or whatever. It's not because he's successful. It's because that I don't feel like he represents me, and he is so prevalent in the Melee community that I can't help but feel like he's trying to. And
Mm,
that is
yeah.
something that that's something that needs to be differentiated, because from what I've gathered and from what I've gotten from this community since I started, and I'm just a doc kid. Like, I started pretty much, I ran tournaments before the documentary came out, but they were like high school casual tournaments. But I've been traveling to tournaments all throughout my college career and the 2 years since. So it's a big part of my life, and I take it very seriously. And one of the main things I've had on my mind since I started was I need to be a good player before people will respect me. And I could use that to, you know, get commentary spots, or to start collaborating on projects, or just build my Melee career to what I want it to be, and use that to, get better at commentary or whatever it is. Like, I respected the game. I knew that going into it, I wasn't going to be the best player in the world, but I wanted to be as good as I could be. So I put a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time into practice. I bided my time because that's how I thought the world worked. And
Mm-hmm.
so the one gripe I have with Ludwig off the bat was that he came into it as a, I don't want to say outsider, but as a fan. He is the champion of people who watch and enjoy Melee, but don't necessarily try to get good at it. And
Mm.
as accurate as that may be, if he feels that way or not about himself, whatever. But from my perspective, his following is of people that don't care to improve the same way I do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I think there's like a few, if you don't mind me
Now,
like
please do.
interjecting, right?
Please do.
Uh, is I think I could just imagine you. You're like, please do, please do. It's like you get like your coach calls you in, benches you, and you have like the towel over your head, like in a basketball
That's
game.
how
Like,
I
all right,
feel.
all right, all right, all right. Let someone else take over. I think there's a few things, right? And I'll go first with like the Scar thought, right? Like he is very much similar to Scar, but I think what actually no, even before that, let me rewind a little bit. Is that I think, and of course, like you have a lot of feelings about it because he sort of like he right, you want to be a commentator as like somewhat of like a make comedic content in the Smash community and be a player, right? And he sort of has that notoriety for the first two, right? And I think that's always one thing, and um I think what's crazy about his rise is that it came up so fast, right? And there were so many factors into it. One being, and we talked about this, right? This conversation is how the podcast started. Like really,
Oh, that's
really, this is how it started.
that's so annoying.
I saw a tweet and I was like, DM me if ever, and then it ended up being a call. We're like, we should record this, but I think it's tough because it's like in a much broader sense, it's like it's hard not to see part of yourself in him in terms of like where you want to move, right? And like I've had that as like from a player standpoint, right? Like I think like a year, like 2 years ago or something, tried to compare myself to like Cody, where it's like, oh, we're both upstate foxes, kind of started out at the same time, and it's like not that I don't want to get where he is, but it's not my journey, right? That's not my path, and my path is maybe a little thornier. Not that his isn't. I don't want to like kind of downplay the amount of work ethic and stuff that he puts into it, but my path is just different. I guess that's the only thing, right? And you don't have perspective because you're only on that path. You're only on the path that you're on, and that's the only one you can see, right? And I think what's craziest about his path is that there was sort of this perfect storm of, oh, we need someone to kind of slot in here, right? And it was like the fact that like Scar got a kid and like kind of weaned out of the Smash community. Also, same with Blur. Blur didn't commentate anymore too, so like there was a need for a commentator like that. I think the fact that like he was very good at marketing himself and getting the right networking to sort of like do it, and like that helped with like him being good friends with Slime, which was cool. Like I think having him be on the Bad Melee podcast also was good too, and I think that's like how it started, and I think it all happened. Well, one, I want to like give him, and I don't know if I'm curious on your thoughts on this because I guess this is my own personal analysis of it. I'm from hearing both sides, but I think like one, I'm sure there's a lot of like back work that we don't see, and but two, I think like he did rise up in the community very a lot, and like even if the player skill isn't there, I guess that's not what the viewers care about per se, right? Because he's not trying to be like like a Fendi, where it's like a very good like play-by-play analog commentator, right? He almost does better when it's like there's no context to the match in terms of like, oh, it's a pool slot, right? And then he kind of like shoots the barrel there and like makes people laugh. And I guess he found his niche, and I guess that's what like I think about it.
Yeah, I understand. And again, like I don't want to take anything away from him. I don't think that he deserves less. I just need to put it out there that there's a coalition, not a coalition. That sounds like we're trying to like start a coup, but there's a lot of people like me that kind of don't see it the same way. Like we don't get it, and the fact that he's around all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what set me off last night was the tournament he held where he was, you know, like he put it together, he put money in the pot. Like, that's all awesome. And I didn't care. I'm like, okay, cool. But I'm scrolling by and I see him like in the commentary, like not in the commentary. He's in his chair and he's like on stream, like his whole stream apparatus didn't change for a tournament. And that bugged me because it just, if you're doing an invitational for players, then give them the spotlight. Like, these guys have been working their asses off, and it felt like he knew that people were going to watch, and he wanted to reap the benefits of that. And however true that may be, I'm not going to assume his intentions here, but it was annoying, man. Like, of course he's going to put himself. It's his stream. He could do whatever the hell he wants. And this is just my opinion. Like, this is me being a salty vent lord, but it's just about my perspective. And I want to make sure that there's I want to make sure that I don't even know how to defend myself, man. I don't really have a leg to stand on.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
I think
I just got to do my own thing
yeah.
and
Well,
stop
I
getting
think
set off by someone just on their own grind, you know?
yeah. I think that's a good takeaway, right? And like it's a conversation that like you just have to get out there, right? Like, and I think there's like we're like all right, like we're going a little more general here, and let me know if what you think about it. But I think like we can like sort of extrapolate from this, like the idea of like one you sort of have to just look at your own path in terms of like right because like I think everyone wants to everyone to themselves views themselves as the protagonist of their own story, right? But it's definitely hard, even though they view it that way, that other people are doing the same thing in their eyes, right? And that's such a weird sort of meta concept, right? Is that we're background people to them as much as they are to us.
Right.
And I think like when it comes in like when, both you and I are like striving for excellence in different things, um I think it's tough not to see one. It's tough not to see parallels with certain people, right? But I think in the end, I think the way he right, it's like snakes and ladders, right? The way his ladders might not be the same ladders you take to win the game based on like what dices you roll, right? And maybe this is like sort of a very cheesy, corny metaphor for it. But I don't it's not, right? But it's okay to like express like any annoyance or anything like that. Not because like you clearly respect him and like what he does. It's just that you think you can put a spin on it that you would enjoy more, right?
Sure. Yeah,
And I
I
think
mean, I can't, I don't have a leg to stand on because I haven't done a fraction of the stuff he's done. And that's all it comes down to is like he's earned it. Like it's not that he got handed this. It's like he leveraged his opportunities very
he earned it.
well. And
Yeah.
like I think I have to understand that because I mean, I'm trying to do the same thing, but I can't possibly sit here and say if I was in his shoes, I would be better. Like that's absurd. It's not. I mean, it's not a zero sum game here.
Hmm.
There's room for both of us, and I'm only hurting myself probably by starting these stupid Twitter fights and coming off as a
Yeah,
little
the Twitter
salty hoe.
fights definitely I would say not good. But I think talking about it on the podcast is fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I don't mind starting beef, I would definitely keep a beef up because whatever. He doesn't have any haters. It's about time he gets one.
Jeez,
I'm a
fire,
Ludwig
shots,
hater.
shots fired. You should just, man. I feel like you should just like money match and commentate the matches yourselves. Do the old school. Bring back Apex 2014. Remember HBox versus Homemade Waffles?
Yeah, but like if I money matched him, it would have to be like 10 to 1 odds or something. Like I would have to put $1,000 to his 100, but
Something like that.
maybe I don't know. I would have to put a lot of money.
Could be fun.
Anyway, we went
Anyway.
long. Let's take a little break. I gotta cool down. I'm over
Yeah,
here
yeah.
fanning myself with a towel.
Yeah, run your head under some ice water, will ya?
All right, man. Let's take 5.
Sure. Yeah, feeling better there, buddy?
I think so.
All right. That's such a weird voice.
I think I feel
Talking,
better.
talking your regular voice. Uh,
Okay. Sorry.
whatever. Shots.
I was expressing
Um,
myself.
no, I know. I'm just teasing you. All right. So, dude, like, I think I'm happy we talked about this. One, because I know it's like in on your mind, and like I'm always happy to like kind of just like, like I think it's important to like vent your frustrations. I think that's super important as long as like no one, as long as like you don't like personally attack someone. But I think the like the bigger thing is like you have to let yourself like feel frustration as a player or as anything, right? In work, in content creation, in competitive, like in competitions. Like I think that's something I learned like not recently, but like this year, is that like I think before you would be like, oh yeah, I played well, and like I was like, oh yeah, I played well, I'm pretty happy with this, and you would just state the positives, but I think you're not then acknowledging like the other half, where it's like you're frustrated about your play, you're frustrated that this didn't work, you're frustrated that you fell for this, and I think it's so tough to like as a competitor wrap that, like that's almost like one of the biggest walls to wrap yourself, is like balancing the like being able to pick yourself up and dust yourself off, but being very like acknowledging of like, yeah, I'm really frustrated right now, like, I'm really frustrated that this happened, or I'm really frustrated that like I didn't prep well enough for this, or I'm really frustrated that like I'm not as good in the ices matchup or something like that. And I think as a like for me, right, because we're talking for me as like a competitor, that's been so important.
Yeah.
Like I was playing Beerman yesterday, and we do these like occasional like one-on-one like sessions like for a few hours and stuff like that. And like and I went into the session like being like, oh, I kind of want to work on my combo game. Like I think that's kind of something that I really need to like kind of iron out and like make a better flowchart for. But I wasn't as patient in neutral situations, and I noticed that, and he noticed it too, which was the fucking annoying part about it. Um, and he exploited it, which is why I love playing Beerman. Is that he doesn't really teach me about the Falco matchup. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Even though he's a great Falco, like don't get me wrong. I mean, like he's so goofy in the way he plays that no other Falco compares to him, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not a general Falco matchup practice, but like, dude, he'll play on all of your like either insecurities or like all your weaknesses. Like he just noticed I was like a little bit more impatient because I wanted to work on my combo game, so I wanted to get to that, and he knows that, so he's like, let me just wait a little bit longer. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And we played, and we always do this thing at the end. We have this sort of tradition ever since he took me under his wing, where it was like, we play something called, we'll play the full grand finals is what we call it, and it's like the two of us, and we start at winners finals, right? So imagine a tournament, and Beerman and I are in winners finals. We play that. Whoever wins, then we go back to, then we play that, and whoever wins winners, now we go to grands, and whoever lost in winners has to reset the bracket. So you can play a maximum of 3 best-of-5 sets in a row.
Nice.
That's how we always end every session, right? And
I like that.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept, I think, because it teaches you like resiliency, right? And it puts you under that sort of pressure. But I think what's cool is that and it goes back and forth. Like sometimes I'll 6-0 him or 6-1 him, and sometimes he'll clap me back. Sometimes he kind of goes to the last game. It's kind of crazy like that. But yesterday, especially because I was a little more impatient, I was like losing, and I actually got like 6-1, and like at the end, I was just like, not in like any anger, but like sort of like just to release the tension. I was like, fuck, man, like you're playing so well, like you really got me, right? And I was like, oh, you're so frustrating to play today, like I hate you. And it was like, that's literally how I said, like nothing else. I'm not watering it down, but like allowing yourself. And like I was just like, we were talking about the set, I'm like, yeah, I could have done this better, yeah, I thought I was doing this well, and I was like, I actually thought I like had a good combo game. You just like kind of being me neutral, so yeah, I thought that too. And it's just like, you have to let yourself feel that frustration as a player, because you can't hold it in, because then it's gonna go into other sets and go into, like, oh man, like, oh, this happens, and that's how like you get these like tilts. But like, I feel like allowing yourself to feel frustration is such an important concept as a player.
Yeah,
or in anything.
For real, and it's it's doing it in a healthy way, of course, and I think just expressing it right off the bat is a healthy way to do it. And we've all been there. Like, we've all just gotten obliterated by a friend. Like, we just can't keep up one session. Or it happened with me and you, actually, when we were playing on Netplay that one time. I was getting hella frustrated. And
oh, man, I remember.
It was bad, dude. That
was the first and last time we ever net played.
Yeah, well, it's among the last times I've ever net played in general. But we've all been there. And I think having that frustration is... like, it's an important pain to feel, and that anguish is what informs what we need to learn from the experience. And if we don't let ourselves like feel that, like some people are really good at processing anger,
Hmm.
and I think it all comes down to how you want to process that, but you just got to make sure that you are. And some people process it like half, like they'll get a little bit out and then they'll catch themselves, and because they squeak that little bit out, they're able to repress the rest of it. Like they just get out as much as they need to bottle the rest in.
Yeah,
And that
and
that's not the same as processing it, like not at all. There's
yeah,
no.
and
Yeah.
people make the mistake. Sorry, I just quick
No. Yeah,
interjection.
it's fine.
Like people make the mistake of like bottling it and like either like holding it back because they don't want to do it, feel that way, or like holding it back in like tricking themselves that they don't feel that way, thinking like, oh, I have good mentality, or I read The Art of Learning, or the tennis book,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, now I have a good mentality. No, it's like not that. It's a process,
Oh,
right? And that's what
absolutely.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's hard to. It takes a lot of time, man. And Melee's a really good way to kind of learn how to deal with jealousy, anger, etc.
Hmm.
Because it comes up all the time, and it's relatively low stakes if you think about it. Like with our lives, um, it's not like we're gonna lose our job over it or something like that. But it's something I see all the time. I mean, it's a trope of the angry gamer or the guy throwing their controller or however you want to interpret it. But it's something that needs to be talked about. And having this opportunity to talk about all my jealousy helped me out a lot. I mean, I already feel better, and now I get to move on and say, okay, what do I really need to do? Like, even if I
Start
want
watching
to,
Say Jam.
no, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
even if I wanted to like use that to motivate, and this goes back to our original conversation because I think I am far enough along in the process to understand what's happening. Like I think I'm self-aware enough. Like I
Hmm.
can't control it still, and that's the next step is like getting over myself, but understanding what's happening, I get to go further and say, all right, how do I convert that into productive energy? And that's the step I'm in now. But the first thing I needed to do was to just put it out there, like just get the gunk out, like I don't know, journal about it, talk to you about it, and all these things I've been doing. But now it's like, all right, now it's time to put up or shut up. And
Yeah, right.
yeah,
It's an acknowledgement of your feelings, but then the next question is always like, what are you gonna do about it,
yeah,
right?
like how are you going to step up to this guy who's been streaming daily and busting his ass? Like how am I going to actually give myself credibility here besides just whining and complaining on my podcast? Like now I'm berating myself a little much, but you get the point. It comes
Of
down to
course.
like, if you're going to get angry, like do it in a cool, productive way where
And it's whatever
yeah,
works for you, right?
of course.
I don't know. Have you ever seen me when I'm frustrated? I get so quiet, dude. I get
No.
quiet, and I feel like there's this like aura around. And it's like I'm just like, oh man, I'm so annoyed. But I get really quiet. I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm like super focused about it, like I'll be like, all right, I'm quiet. Like even if I'm like notice it, like I just get so quiet in the moment. But I think it's just like whatever works for you, right? Either like going out, stepping out, screaming into a pillow, being quiet about it, talk to your friend, like whatever way works. It's just more so, yeah. It's just more so like acknowledging the feeling, right? Because if you're not acknowledging it, then you can't fix it.
Yeah, I would recommend um, everyone that hears this and can relate or feels like they have some sort of melee jealousy or competitive jealousy or professional, just to find someone like I found you, Will, and
Oh.
someone who understands. Someone who it like I talk to my girlfriend about a lot of issues I have, but not this because like how can she possibly understand the full context of what this is. And
Yeah.
there's so much there that you need to find someone in, and this goes out to anyone again. You need to find someone in the Melee community if you're frustrated about Melee. You need to find someone who is like the same skill as you, preferably from the same region, plays the same character and the same color.
That's the most important part, right? You
Yeah.
have to play the same color.
Because they can't understand you. Like a blue
Yeah.
fox and a neutral fox are on completely different fields here.
100%.
So, good thing I found Will. He fit the two most important criteria, and then I started talking to him, and he was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to have a release. Like, I think it's also good that I'm doing other stuff. We can get off this topic. I'm just
Yeah.
wallowing in self pity. But
Yeah, dude. No worries. You recognize it. That's a good stuff.
you want to
Alright,
talk
yeah.
about our shout out?
Yeah. Although actually, I wanna just end this with a quote. Have you seen that? I don't know who he's from, but I saw this on Twitter, and then the New England Jesse posted about it. But prototype, but he did a 7. He quoted this, and he talks about like what it is to play a fighting game, right? And I think this is such a cool thing, as that it's like to be good at fighting games, it's hard, and I'm not talking about skill. You train, you seek strong players, knowing they're gonna stuff you. Then you have to put emotions aside, understand why that happened, and adjust. Cycle repeats even at the highest level. Pride is what is tested, and I think that's really like a cool way to end it. You know?
I saw that quote too.
Yeah, that's a cool quote. Oh, quick thing before the shout out. I'm going to Genesis.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So.
I gotta go.
Dude, you should go. I found housing. Dude, flights were only $260 for me.
Round trip?
Round trip.
Get the fuck out of here.
Nah, dude. And we have those working man salaries.
Oh, dude, 260 is nothing.
I think if you get it with connecting flights, it can be as slow as 230.
Dude, I gotta look into that right after this. Holy
Right after
crap.
this, look into it, dude.
Who are you
look
staying
into
with?
I'm staying. Oh, dude, my room is sick.
Okay.
My room is sick.
Who you got?
Let me pull up my room. I've got to pull up my room because I don't want to forget anyone. Hold on. But yeah, dude, get on it, because I checked, and I can't go to full bloom because I'm going to a wedding in the Philippines like a week afterwards,
Oh.
so I can't. But all right, let me see. Fuck. Okay. Oh wait, no, I couldn't find it because I looked up our Facebook chat, not the old Jesse. Okay, it's me, Ghetto War Machine 420, the legend, Jesse,
Mm-hmm.
Joy Boy, and Rosin.
Dude.
I'm the New England room, baby.
Just snuck in there.
Snuck in there, yeah.
So, got an extra space, or...
I don't know. You're gonna have to hit them up and see and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta find out. Oh, man, god damn, I want to go.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm looking up. Dude, you should just do it, dude.
All right, I'll look into it. I'll give it serious thought. We don't have to talk about it because if I can't go, this is just going to disappoint me.
Fine.
Let's talk about our shout out, baby.
Ba-da-da-da. Yo, the biggest of kids, Layden IV. Yo, shout out for this week for his super smashed out performance yesterday.
Yeah, Big Kid. We love Big Kid.
We love Big Kid, dude. He got 7th at the tournament, which is crazy. And dude, I know he's been on this like personal journey recently, right? He's been out of it, then into it, then out of it, then into it.
Right.
But yesterday he stepped up with those Big Kid feet. He beat his 2 big wins. He beat 2 PR players, right? He beat Smokey 2-1, and Smokey's like been low key cooking him recently.
Yeah, yeah.
Like before Smokey was PR'd, Smokey was like low key cooking him, and then he beat Doc Lob.
Yeah, that's
the lockjaw.
That is they're both really impressive, and they're both like, it's so annoying that only tri-state people are going to get any of this conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really good. It's a really good performance because Smokey is incredible at the Jigglypuff matchup. Like, he's stupid good at it. And he's been
Stupidly annoying at it, yeah.
busting his ass recently and just getting so, like, just working out all these little problems that he's had. And just, like, one at a time, it feels like every tournament is just squash, squash, squash. And then Big Kid beats him, which is hella impressive. And then Doc Lob is
The lockjaw.
okay, all right, okay, guy, but he is a player from SBU, and he has a ton of experience against 42nd, one of the best puffs in Tri-State.
Dude, it's probably going to be ranked top 100 this year. It has to be.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if he's not, then that's a
How do you
tragedy.
beat SFAT and Absent Page and
Yeah.
not do?
Yeah, 42nd is top 100 level puff. No, yeah, all right, wait, but that doesn't matter because, all right, so Doc Lob gets a lot of practice against him and beats him from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the context. Those are the connections we need to make. Big Kid pulling in 7th at a decently stacked tri-state regional. And we all knew he had it in him. It was just a matter of time before he got on our shoutouts list. I mean, he's been PR'd. Like, he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around the block.
But he's still young. What is he, 17 now?
Man, dude, I feel like he's almost 17, which makes it even crazier. I think
Yeah.
he might be 16.
These kids, man. And Big Kid plays Puff for those uninitiated.
Yeah,
But
it's good shit, dude.
He's got a bit of a following, though. Like, a lot of people know what's good with Big Kid.
Yeah, he there's like this sort of like cult following because one, he's a homie, right? Like, let's not forget.
He's so
Layden,
fun to hang out with. He's so goofy.
Such a homie. Yeah, dude. And his dad's so chill too. His
Really?
dad drives. Yeah, his dad's super chill. His dad, like, for context, like, drives us everywhere.
Nice.
Sick. And he's a home. Like, his dad's super chill. But he also, like, one, he works really hard, and two, like, he has such a unique style where it's like, I think he's just always struggled between like how how reserved he should play, right? Like, I think that's where he struggles, right? Is that like it's like, oh, like, what do I do here? What do I do here? But I think he's working those kinks out, right? And like, we're all working through that.
Yeah.
But like, I think like he'll go for crazy stuff. Like, remember how he took Lint at one Apollo? He took game 1 because Lint did a short hop approaching laser, and Layden reacted to that and wave dashed in rested.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was one of the most brilliant Falco Puff exchanges I've ever seen. That set, I used 2 clips in one of the combo videos I made with them.
Yeah.
Because, like, it was just he beat Lint and just like shrugs. He's like, all right.
Yeah, but he has
easy.
such a ballsy style, you know, and I think that's why people love him. And also, he's a homie, so I think definitely he's like a New York fan favorite, right? Is the best way to describe it.
He's one of the pride and joys of New York City. Everyone loves Big Kid. He's come a long way. I mean, when he started, he was like solid, but everyone was like kind of looking at him like, all right, dude, you got to prove yourself here. He was young. He still is young, but he was younger.
Yeah, and
He's
for
like
context,
14.
like, yeah, and for context, like, we're not talking like just like New York PR players. Like, this guy like had like a 2-2 record on Slocks in one season, beat Hacks before. You know, like, we're talking like, yeah, like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, he
you know,
breaks out
and
for
stuff.
sure.
Yeah, he's had more than enough breakouts. So this isn't like a breakout or anything, but it's more of like a welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Sure. Yeah, well, Big Kid, we love you.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So forget him. It's our time now.
This is our show.
This
Screw
is
that.
this is about Fox players. Okay, BK.
All right.
Sorry,
I'm sure we're
too
just,
mean.
I know that we love. I know we're laughing. I wonder if we just sound like idiots
Oh,
to
well,
other people.
We definitely sound like idiots.
That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So I think, what's your plan for the week? All right. Let's wrap it up with that.
I want to wrap it up with something bigger.
Bigger. Okay. What is it?
It's right now.
Oh, wait,
it's
is this
December 30th, 2018. I want to talk about New Year's
Oh
resolutions.
my god! I can't believe you went there. I can't believe you went there.
had to.
I can't believe
because
you went there.
we talk about week to week and we both prioritize short-term goals, and I love that about you and I love that about myself. But we have this opportunity. We have to do the trope. Will,
Oh my god.
what do you want to see from yourself when we're doing our 60 or 58th episode a
Yeah,
year
yeah.
from
50.
now?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to have happened in the time between then?
Okay. First of all, for sure is definitely, I think, dude, I'm close anyway. I'm close, but I still need to earn it, right? That's the important thing we've been talking about. But I gotta get on the PR, dude.
Yeah, it's your time.
It's about time. It's time. I think last year I kind of said it's too high, and not too high in terms of like it crushed me, like and like when you said too high and you like feel like it's unattainable.
Mhm.
But I think it was just unrealistic. I wanted to be like top 100 because I thought like, oh, I'm getting there, I'm getting there, and then like at Omega 2 in the summer, I was just like, man, I still have so much I need to work on, right? Like there's still so much I'm lacking as a player that I need to like iron out. So I think I want my goals to be a little smaller this time, and just dude, I gotta get on the PR. That's how it starts, right? That's how it starts,
Yeah.
and I think I know I can do it. So like that's definitely one of it. I think another goal, like I just want to continue like cooking more. Like I like cooking. It's just I get lazy.
Every Long
And
Island player just thought you said beat people.
well, that's a given. I don't need to try to cook people. I just cook them.
Right. Well, you want
But
to
I'm,
cook. You want to cook like animals.
yeah, and vegetables
Gotcha.
and eat healthier. After that, dude, like I want to keep running this podcast, dude. I feel like this is so healthy, so fun. Like I really look forward always to these podcasts. I
Yeah,
think
me too.
Um, besides that, I think, like, okay, so I think I know where I want to move on from here. I think I want to go into, obviously, if it's not like esports or anything like that, I'd like to be a psychologist. So I
Wow.
think, um, that would probably be my next move. I don't think I'm ready for grad school yet. I think I want one more, like a year and a half or so more of like a little bit more like just the life that I'm living now because it's been really fun. But I think I'm gonna have to start studying for the GREs next year. Just at least get that process started.
Yeah.
So I think that's another goal. Just start studying for the GREs so I could like get that out of the way so then I can like apply whenever I want to for psych grad school. Because I think I want to go into like psychology, do like some talk therapy, or maybe even do like sports psychology and then go into like regular sports psychology because me, I love sports, or esports psychology because not a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
Not that there's a big group that needs it, but you know, I think that's super cool. I just love talking, so
Great.
it sort of makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I love those goals. They're all attainable, and I think you're gonna be in a good spot in a year from now, almost guaranteed. Especially if you keep talking to me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Talking about you, what are your goals?
I always change them. I'm actually like not a big resolution guy, so I'm kind of
Mhm.
annoyed that you brought it up. Um, so I forgive you for that. But
Mhm.
come on, man, you totally missed that. Ugh, I'm cutting this anyway. Yeah, my goals, great. So I want to talk about like monthly goals. I want to break it down into what I could do month by month.
All right,
So
sounds good.
I want to make sure I'm going to one tournament a month. I want to go to 12 tournaments minimum. And I know that's like not a big deal. There's a lot more than that I could go to. But I want to make sure I'm consistently checking in. Oh, there's one thing I'm doing that I didn't talk about. I'm starting up a show at
Oh, you're starting up a show. That's sick.
kind of like it's gonna be at the next Super Smashed Out. Me and Barry have been talking about it for a couple months, and now that he's gonna set the date for it, I'm gonna put together some guests. I have a bunch of games ready to play, and I think I briefly mentioned it, like teased it, but I didn't really go into it. But I want to be able to do that at least for 6 months, and that's only 6 shows to put together. But I think that's
Mhm.
one thing that I can take advantage of is like working with the Encore Esports guys. Like I love
Nice.
those guys. They're good at what they do, and they like working with me. So I think making sure I'm on top of that. I want to I want to keep this podcast going. I think there's so much here to gain that's not even that no one needs to listen to this for us to benefit from it.
Yeah, that's the best part about it, right? This is for us.
It's not even hard, man. Like this isn't
I know.
this is just talking to my buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to keep this a priority. I want to make sure I'm practicing every day,
Mm-hmm.
at least a little bit, and I want to go to 3 or 4 majors. Enough. I want to be eligible for top 100. I want to give myself the chance to earn it based off attendance, and if the wins come down, then great. I won't be disappointed if I don't make it. I'm not going to like start scrounging for money to go to a 5th or 6th if I don't have the wins yet. And I want to commentate at a major.
Okay, that's awesome.
Those are my goals. So, however, I think it's all that's possible. I mean, top 100 is such a crowded field that it's just going to come down to the margins and
Yeah, it's margins and like who turns up day 2.
yeah,
Because we're making it to day 2, at least.
yeah. Who do I get in my bracket? It's all going to come down to bracket luck. Like I'm not good enough to just like be confirmed to get that spot, but I have plenty of top 100 wins. I know I could do it. It just needs to come down at the right spots. So it's all about like scheduling my life well enough. Also, I'm probably going to move out in the next 6 months.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So once spring hits, me and my girlfriend are looking to move to Westchester.
Ooh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, just be a quick
I
train
can
ride.
visit you easier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like we could just come down.
I'd actually visit you.
Yeah, I mean, how easy is it for you to get to Terrytown?
Terrytown's okay. There's a train there.
Yeah,
There's a Metro North. It's $12.
yeah, man. So being in Westchester is just like better. Hopefully, I could start getting some like side income from something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows if this will pick up? That's not really the goal, but I'm always looking for opportunities to make another buck and just
Yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, please.
yeah, and please donate to our non-existent Patreon if you are listening. Just give us your money on a monthly basis.
You can get access to 0 emotes right now.
Yeah, he got nothing.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. Awesome. Yo, talking about the major stuff, right? Talking about majors, right? Let me tell you something that might make you it's a little bit it's finger licking good. I'll tell you that. It's finger licking good.
Oh boy.
I'm on kayak right now. And there are still flights for 2:37.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I gotta have a conversation with
your
my
accountant?
closest loved ones about making that happen.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Genesis is a month away, and it might be the first tournament I get to go to. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm doing voices. All right. So we've been doing this for a while. I want to let you do some final shout-outs, and then we got to go.
I mean, dude, we don't have sponsors or anything to shout out.
Oh, you're
But
right.
I want to shout out you.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I guess, dude, this has just been so fun. I know I say it every episode, but dude, I look forward to these podcasts like all the time.
Yeah, me too, man. And I've stopped like this is going to sound bad, but I've stopped like caring about what I'm going to talk about cuz I know I'm going to have stuff to like bring up, and I know that I could just kind of talk about what I'm feeling at the time. Or what I've been writing about or whatever. So shout outs to you as well. Oh, this is a cute way to end it.
Oh yeah. No. Oh, this is cute. This is cute.
This is so cute.
You're so cute.
Oh my god, shout out. Okay,
Oh my God.
wait, are you going to be
You hang up.
Okay.
All right. What are you saying?
I'm going to end the episode because
Yeah. Wait.
we got to talk about
last
some
New
stuff
Year's goal for you.
off mic. What last New Year's goal?
One more New Year's goal for you.
One more.
Visit me in New York.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
hosting a fest. Let's go.
That's like it's long overdue.
I know. Then that's it. That's all I have to say.
Maybe we could get a pre-Genesis fest going. Last minute
Ooh.
practice.
Yeah, I'm down.
Cool. All right,
All right.
that's my last one. All right, man. We'll talk soon.
We'll talk soon. Oh, okay. 2 things.
Oh my god.
Quickly. Wait, no. I mean, off the mic. I mean, this is just like. Wait, are we still recording?